Hey, what's up everybody? It's Flux with fluxwithit.com, and today I'm here to talk about using Guitar Rig inside of Maschine. I've done some videos on this before. I want to dive into a little bit more detail on some interesting ways that you can use Guitar Rig and have a little bit more control. So the first tip I'm going to show you is I just have a drum kit loaded up. This is from the stim pack available over at themachinewarehouse.com. Definitely support and check out all the different expansions over there. So the dry kit sounds like this. Few things that you should know. Up top here, we have our input gain, our output gain. We have a limiter here. Live is for basically, if you go into this mode and you have a foot controller, you can set up punching in and out, going into your presets. That's fine. High mode is basically oversampling. And so if you want a little bit lower latency, you could take that off. I tend to leave it on. I don't really have any problems with it on my Retina MacBook Pro. Gate is for preventing feedback from distortions, things of that nature. So what we want to show you is that, say you want to gritty up some drums, but you want to have a lot more control over it. So if we just throw an amp on here. Okay, we can tweak it from here, but we're still left with a couple of problems. One, the effect is going to be 100%. We're not going to have a wet-dry mix of it. And two, we have two effects are actually happening right now. We're doing our amplifier and we're doing our cabinet and mic emulations. Okay, so if we take the cabinet off, just power it off here. And back on. It's significant difference there. And of course you can go and tweak your EQ, reverb, you can just dive into the amps from there. And of course you can, if you want to use the cabinet, you can dive into that from here. But again, let's say we want to go ahead and have a wet dry control of that. If you go down to the tools, you'll see here that we have split. We can throw a split on here. Go back up and grab the twang reverb. We're going to throw that inside of here. Now we're on split A. Now what's cool about split is it lets you set up different effects chains and you have complete pan control over each split. So we've got pan A, pan B, and then you can crossfade between them. All right, let's quit my mail here. All right, so what I've got now is if I come all the way to the left and pan is in the center, I'm 100% wet. That's same as what we heard before, right? But if I bring it here, we can bring it over, and now I'm only at 50%. Let's say I only want a little bit of that grit. I can bring it back here. Let's take this off. And then that leaves you free to do some interesting things, and you don't have to waste using an aux bus to do it. So let's say I wanted, let's bring a bunch of reverb on here. Now if I take this all the way over here, you'll see how it would sound without the split. Not so pleasant, right? So we just kind of fade in just a little bit. All right, now let's drop that treble way back. Way down here, bring the bass up, mids down a little bit. Okay, so now we've got that down. That's pretty cool. Let's see what else we can do here. Okay, so let's say I want to control this with an LFO. I can grab an LFO, throw it inside of the split, okay, and then you'll see this little arrow here. You can place that on any knob that you want. So I'm going to grab it and take it to my reverb. All right, so now you'll see my reverb is twisting and turning with the LFO. Now if you click this little drop down here, you can adjust the amount of that LFO. So let's say we only want it to modulate that reverb just a tiny bit. We can go ahead and do this. And let's say we want the rate to be synced to tempo. We're going to take it up to quarter time, and we'll take the amount very small. And of course, if I take the amount a lot, Okay. Now you can do other interesting things like, let's say if you want, let me move this thing down here a bit. We can, yeah, let's grab this. Now we can drop it onto our split. Now what we're doing is we're modulating our crossfade. We'll go all the way over. And you can basically be in time going between dry and wet mixes. So let's get a little bit more fancy with it now. Let's go pinky out. We're going to throw a cyc delay into split B. Okay? Now, instead of modulating between wet and dry, we're going to modulate between two totally different effect chains. Okay? Okay, and you can also throw splits on top of splits. You can throw modifiers to modifiers. You can basically do whatever you want with this. You can do step sequencing. Let's say I want the step sequencer to come over here to the rate knob. And now what's happening is as this steps through, it's going to increase and decrease the rate of the LFO. So the split function allows you to have a lot more control, and the modifiers allow you to really dive in and make things kind of freak out and have some fun. So hope you enjoyed this. I'll send you some more videos on guitar rig inside of Maschine shortly. Check out themachinewarehouse.com and fluxwithit.com and the Producers Hangout. Peace.